Artificial intelligence is everywhere these days. One place it's having a real impact is in finance. Hello, and welcome to The On-Ramp, an ongoing series that highlights thought leadership from the Sawyer Business School in downtown Boston. My name is Francisca Beduya, and today I'll be speaking with accounting and business law professor Ariel Markelevich. He's done a lot of research on how AI is being used in finance and why it's quickly becoming such an essential tool. Professor Markelevich, thank you so much for being here and welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. So why is AI such a big deal for financial markets?
So AI has the potential to be a big shift in the markets, and there are several things that AI is actually changing and could change in the future. It could be anything from gathering information for investment decisions, actually helping with decision making, offering investment advice, for example. So there are many things within the different financial markets in which AI is making a difference now, but could have a huge impact in the coming future.
What might the impact be with this kind of information gathering?
So information gathering is interesting because AI is really good at gathering a lot of data. So one place in which we can find some AI impact is by using AI to gather a lot of data, so much more than humans can use. Another component is that now when we use data, we use specific pieces of data, like things like return on investment or revenue for a company or things like that. AI works differently. So AI can get different types of information and analyze the information not in a way that humans or current models do.
Based on your research, how good is AI at gathering this financial data?
So AI is good, not great, but it's good. There are some differences between different models. Some models are better than others. The more recent models are not necessarily better than the older models, which is kind of interesting. But I think that potentially, like many of my students, some information is harder to find within the annual filings. AI seems to have the same difficulty as potentially humans. Some information is easier, like for example, coming from the main financial statements, like an income statement or a balance sheet. That might be slightly easier for AI to get. But accuracy is really important for users. So having a really excellent model will be key.
Should people start using AI for things such as making investment decisions?
So that's tricky. The biggest issue with AI, the biggest concern with AI, I think currently, is the fact that it's kind of a black box. So everything AI decides seems to be very opaque. So when AI were to recommend an investment for you, you wouldn't know, okay, what did I get that recommendation? There might be issues like biases. So for example, AI might bias a certain region of the world, a certain region of our country, a certain type of industry, without necessarily us understanding that it has that bias. So using it for investment decision, I think we're not there yet, but some people might be more adventurous, so I'm not sure.
And what can be done about those concerns?
So I think that the big key aspect is trying to figure out what the models are doing, which currently the technology is trying to do, but is not really there. I think that regulators, like the SEC, for example, in the US, need to step in and try to understand what AI is doing and what companies are developing in their models, especially when we're dealing with retail investors, small investors, that don't have the sophistication or the capacity to try and test those AI models. I think regulators would need to step in. The EU has done it a little bit. Other regulators around the world have done it a lot, but there's some room for work.
As you look in the future, let's say a year, 5 years, or even 10 years, what excites you most and what concerns you about AI in finance?
So I was listening to a conference a couple of weeks ago, and somebody asked, what if we were to do this in a year, what would we talk about? And the guy said something that I found really insightful. In a year from now, we'll talk about something that happened 6 months ago and how stupid were we a year before not to think that this would happen. So it's hard to predict now how good or AI would be, how AI would change. I'm sure it's going to make a very big impact. I think that some of the difficulties we see now might be resolved with better training of the models, but I think, in my mind, the key is still around transparency. So to the extent that we can understand what AI is doing, it would be easier to use AI. If we're not, then it would be harder in some areas to use AI.
All right, well, thank you so much for being here. That's about all the time we have for today. And thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time on The On-Ramp.